What's up, everybody? Justin here, back with a new Wrestling Decade show. I can't see the freaking. I just want to see the time I have to record. I couldn't see it. Anyways, this is a new Wrestling Decade show. Like, going back 15 years is not a decade, but let's just say, let's go back 20 years. 10 years, that's a decade. My top 25 WWE, NXT, and women's and divas champions. Top 25 women's champions of the last decade or 2 decades, whatever you want to call it. This is a not top 25, it's a top 20. I want to say that it's not a top 25, it's a top 20 women's champions. NXT Divas women's champion and Raw and SmackDown women's champions. Number 20. I would have done a top 25, but I couldn't think of 5 more women. I couldn't. That were champions. Number 20, Victoria. Very good in her time in WWE. Very underrated. Just should have been used a lot better. She really didn't get pushed as a wrestler until like late 2002 and 03, 04. So Victoria, former women's champion. I think at least 2 or 3 times. Number 19, Naomi, former 2 times SmackDown women's champion Naomi, and a former first ever FCW women's champion Naomi. Number 19. Number 18. I was not a fan of this woman in the ring. She did work hard. She busted her ass. For anybody that bashes her and always likes to put her down, make fun of her, say she didn't deserve anything and all that. I didn't like her long title reign as Divas champion because she broke AJ Lee's record. That was ridiculous. It was stupid. But she did break her fucking neck. For the wrestling business, she broke her neck doing something she loves. She broke her neck. And she did come back and wrestle, I think, a few matches. Number 18, Nikki Bella, former Divas champion. I don't think she was ever SmackDown or Raw women's champion. I wish I had Kleenex, but whatever. Nikki Bella, number 18. Give me a second. Nikki Bella, number 18, Divas champion. Again, I wasn't a fan of her in the ring and her character, but she did work hard and she broke her fucking neck and still wanted to come back and wrestle. Number 17, Becky Lynch, SmackDown Women's Champion, the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion in 2016. Becky Lynch, number 17 as SmackDown Women's Champ, the first ever. Number 16, Alexa Bliss, SmackDown Raw Women's Champion, even a women's tag champion 2 times. She's been pushed a lot. I'm a fan of Alexa. I like her. I think she tries really hard. She had a whole bunch of injuries, concussions, and she still came back. That's what you call passion, folks. She has it. Fans and haters can hate on her all they want. Hate on her all you want, but she has passion for the business. So number 16, Alexa Bliss, Raw, SmackDown, multiple time women's champion. Number 15, Kairi Sane, NXT women's champion. She didn't have it for very long, but I loved it when she had it, and she was a good champion. Number 14, Natalya. Love Natalya. Love that she follows me on Twitter. Natalya, number 14, Divas champion. Raw women's champion. I'm not sure if she was SmackDown women's champ. I don't remember. But I know she was Raw women's champ. Natalya, number 14. Number 13, Shayna Baszler, NXT women's champion. One of the longest reigns ever for NXT women's champion. Shayna Baszler, number 13, as NXT women's champ. Number 12, Becky Lynch, Raw women's champion for over a year, a full year and more. She's been Raw women's champ. Number 12, Becky Lynch, number 12, Raw women's champ. Again, she's had the reign for over a year. Number 11, going back a while, but she had a good reign. Melina, women's champ and Divas champ. Melina, number 11. Number 10, Paige, NXT, first ever NXT women's champion, Paige. I'm not going to bring up what she let somebody do to the NXT old version of the women's title. That was not good. That was just really immature. But she was young. She was in a different place in her life. Number 10, Paige, first ever NXT women's champion. I'm losing my voice, folks. It's been a long day. So, number 9, Sasha Banks, NXT women's champ. Sasha Banks, she was off the fucking hook as NXT women's champ. As a heel, she was awesome. She was never ratchet to me. When Full Sail used to chant, Sasha's ratchet. No, she's not. Well, no, she's not. Number 9, Sasha Banks, NXT women's champ. She was fucking a great champion. As a heel. Her heel work and her putting over Bayley at the first TakeOver Brooklyn, my goodness, that was great. That was Sasha probably at her best, in my opinion. Sasha was at her best at WrestleMania 32 also. She's still in her prime, but the best character work she did, in my opinion, was when she was NXT Women's Champ as a heel. Number 8, Bayley, NXT Women's Champion. Bayley held the title from August 2015 to April 2016. Had a good reign. I really liked Bayley as NXT Women's Champion. Number 8, Bayley. Number 7, Mickie James. Mickie James, one of the best, a legend, a future Hall of Famer. Mickie James, Divas Champion, Women's Champion. She had a lot of reigns. I think she was like a 6-time or 5-time Women's Champ. Anyways, Mickie James, number 7. Divas Women's Champion. Number 6, Trish Stratus. Fucking legend. I love Trish. Loved her when she was in her prime, full time. She was my favorite women's wrestler. At one point, I'd say in 2002 and 03, 04, 05, Trish was one of my favorite wrestlers. And just characters. She's great, really good as a heel on the mic and really good in the ring. Number 6, Trish Stratus. Many time women's champion, over 5 or 6 times. Number 5. Now we're in the top 5. Number 5, Beth Phoenix, women's champion. Also, I think she was a Divas champion. I'm not sure. But number 5, Beth Phoenix. I thought she was a really strong champion. Number 4, Charlotte Flair. Raw Women's Champ. SmackDown Women's Champ. NXT Women's Champ. 2 times. She's been a multiple time SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion. She's had, I believe, 11 reigns as champion. My opinion, I like Charlotte. I think she gets way too much hate. I like her as a champion. I think she's a star. And I think she has good matches with everybody. Just about she's in the ring with. She's had great matches with Becky and Rhea Ripley and Sasha, in my opinion. Number 4, Charlotte Flair, NXT, Raw, SmackDown Women's Champion. Also, by the way, Bayley, I said was number 8. Bayley is the first ever Triple Crown winner out of all the women to hold every women's title. So Bayley, I believe Bayley was NXT, Raw, and SmackDown champion. She was the first, I think, to do it, or the first Triple Crown winner. Number 3, AJ Lee. Great work as a character. One of the best. On the mic, she was so damn good. She was damn good as a cutting promos. Just great at playing a crazy chick. Number 3, AJ Lee, Divas champion. Number 2, I had Bayley at number 8 as NXT champion, but Bayley is number 2. Bayley number 2 as SmackDown Women's Champion 2 times. The longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. She's had a hell of a reign. She's defeated Naomi, Lacey Evans, I forget who else, but she's had a hell of a reign. The new Bayley, the heel Bayley, cutting her hair off. The promo work. She's gotten a lot better at promos. I love heel Bayley. I love Bayley, the role model. I think she's great, and I think she's a great SmackDown Women's Champion, and she's carrying the SmackDown Women's division. Number 2, Bayley, SmackDown Women's Champion. Also, currently, she is still the SmackDown Women's Champion. Currently, Becky is Raw Women's Champ. Bayley is as I said, SmackDown Women's Champ. 2 of the 4 horsewomen, currently the champions. And they've had really good, long reigns. Number 1. Who's number 1? Well, if you know me and you know what my Twitter profile picture is, 99% of the year on Twitter, at WWE NXT guy, my number 1 top women's champion of the decade in wrestling. Number 1, Asuka. NXT Women's Champion Asuka had a record reign, 523 days, I think. Sadly, I believe Shayna Baszler defeated her record, but Asuka was undefeated. Asuka was undefeated, and she was champion for 2 years. Epic streak. Asuka was undefeated longer than Goldberg, and I don't know if Asuka defeated Goldberg's streak, but his streak was made up. A lot of those wins did not happen. They put him up to like 170-0. I doubt he won that many matches because I saw them all and it wasn't 170 matches. So, anyways, Asuka was undefeated longer than Goldberg. Not as long as Bruno Sammartino, or not as long as Hulk Hogan's reign in the 80s. That was 4 years. But Asuka was a great champion for NXT. She had great matches with everybody. Emma, Bayley, Asuka and Nia Jax, Asuka and Ember Moon. Asuka does not have a bad match. Asuka is incapable of having a bad wrestling match. Number 1, Asuka as NXT Women's Champion. Hope you enjoyed my top 20 women champions of the decade in wrestling. Give it a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Who are some of your favorite women's champions of the last decade or last 2 decades? Leave them in the comments. My number 1 is Asuka, and my number 20 was Victoria. Bye for now, everybody. Have a great, safe weekend.